What's up guys, welcome to a new video. My name is Joop from the Clips, aka Macaroni with the Cheese. It's been a long time that I made a video, and today I'm just gonna freestyle this video. So today Tesla has a new deal with auto company BYD, and they basically made a deal in China that made the stock go up. So the China deal is basically for their self-driving technology. So he went to China to make this deal, and it's a pretty big deal because they're pretty much investing in the whole chip card of BYD. Tesla has concluded a series of arrangements with regulators and a Chinese artificial intelligence company doing a quick trip Beijing on Sunday and Monday by Elon Musk. The car maker chief executive potentially cleared the way for the company to offer its most advanced self-driving software on cars in China. Well, we all know that Tesla, Elon Musk is pretty much heavy trying to make all those cars have the new technology, so the full self-driving, and this is basically how it looks. So what you see, this is the full self-driving technique on the Tesla. So it's pretty much self-driving, and I'm following this X account where you basically see that technology is developing. It's called FSD, and it's self-driving, guys. It's pretty much going all by itself, doing all those calculations on the car, and it's getting improved day by day. So as you can see above, it does these calculations with those folks on the bicycle. You got a car behind them. So this technology is improving day by day. So Elon Musk just made a deal with China, Beijing, for this technology. So what happened? It basically made the stock go up, as you can see. So the stock basically went up. It was down all the way around the 139-ish, and now it's $193 just off that one day. So in one day it basically did, let me see, 17%. So that's pretty big news for Tesla. I'm still a big believer of Tesla, but we have to wait and see what this is gonna do. People are still thinking that it can go lower, but I'm pretty much invested with this Tesla developments, and it's very interesting to see how these developments are further continuing. So check my YouTube channel. Every day I try to make some videos. In this video, basically I'm freestyling on the things that I know. My next subject is what I did today. So today I try to make a trade, and it pretty much worked out. So what I did was on, let me see what I did today. Yeah, what I did today is basically I made a trade on Monday today. So if you can see, we pretty much are heading down. Put it on a daily. So this is the internal high around 1.11. We basically are going down. So the bias is down. And what I did, I went all the way to the 4 hour. And then you go to the 30 minutes. And what I basically saw is it made a fair value gap here on the 50-minute. So it went all the way from this high. So this is a strong high, and it pretty much went down, and then it made a fair value gap right here. So I made a calculation from this high to this high, and this high to this low, and then you have a equilibrium, and it's on the same area with this fair value gap. And I went on the 5 minutes, and I basically put my short position onto this order block, and I pretty much went all the way down, and this is how I made my trade. So this is how I made my trade. It basically went up, and I did the calculation from this high and this low, and it hits the equilibrium here. 50% of the high, this high and this low. It went all the way back. It did a retracement, and then it went down. So that's the trade that I made. There's still news on the Bank of China. So what basically happened today is that it hits the pair USD JPY, basically hits 160, and then it rejected, it came down. So there's a lot of news on Twitter what happened. I'm not very familiar with the news, but there's a lot of development in the world, guys. There's a lot of development in the world. So also, one thing I want to share with you guys is in China. So the China stock market was down for a few weeks and months. We basically were low, and I'll put it on a monthly. We were very low. We were down from those highs around 32,000, 33,000. Back in February 2018, we were down. Even here in 2021, it rejected. It went down all the way low to the 14,000. As you can see, the distance was 15% from the highs. But on this month, so this month, as you can see, it basically bottomed out. Yeah, it basically bottomed out, as you can see. It made a bottom around 14,400. So as you can see, we are going up. But there is a but. We have to wait and see what it's doing. So I'm gonna put my moving average. So it passed the first moving average. That's the 50-day moving average, the red color. It pretty much passed the 50 days moving average, so that's positive. Now we need to pass the 100-day moving average, and then I'm pretty much sure. And I'm basically pretty happy if it will pass the 200-day moving average, but we got a long way to go. But to be sure, it's been a few weeks, a few years now that the Japanese stock market is down. So that is in confluence with a few stocks, and the stocks that I'll be talking about is Baba. We all know Baba. That's pretty much the Amazon of China. So it had a few months of pretty much going down, as you can see, in a falling wedge. So I wanted to reclaim the 80s, and that's with the red line, and the red line is the 50-day moving average. Yes, the 50-day moving. As you can see, it's around $80. Then I want to pass the 100-day moving average at 86, and at last $140 per share. So also JD, also one of the companies that I'm investing in, and it pretty much did the same move. Now that the Chinese market is positive, it reclaimed the 50-day moving average. That's the red line here. And then I wanted to continue the 100-day moving average. That's around $40, and then we're good. Then we back to business. But for now, as you can see, we were pretty much destroyed. We had blood on the street. But we have to wait and see what continues. I'm pretty much very interested in this stock. Okay, so my next subject is DJT. So DJT, the share of Donald Trump, basically launched on 24th of March. So that was last month, as you can see, is this blue arrow. So what I think is going to happen, as you can see, it pretty much crossed the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average, as you can see. You see, the blue line and the red line basically crossed. So that's positive. That means it's rejected this line. So what I think is going to happen is we could see a squeeze. we could see a squeeze. So that means we could maybe we could go even further lower. But I really think at the end of the elections, so November this year, when there's election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I do think that a lot of people want these stocks, and it can go lower. It can go higher, excuse me. So we have to wait and see what basically are happening, because there's a lot of things happening right now. We have seen on all social media that the CEO of DJT is basically, he basically said that a lot of hedge funds basically are trying to manipulate the stock. So the company CEO Devin Nunes, in a letter Tuesday, asked the GOP chairs to probe anomalous trading of the stock in order to gauge the extent of alleged manipulation and whether any laws, including RICO statutes and tax evasion laws, were violated. That's a pretty big accusation, guys, because we all know that those big guys of Citadel and Kenneth Griffin are basically doing a lot of fraud things when it comes to trading. They're doing like naked shares, and they have they're doing a lot of trading on the black market. So we have to be very patient what basically gonna be the develop. But what basically happened when the CEO of the Trump media made this claim, the stock pretty much soars and pretty much runs like 9% of this claim. So I'm pretty much still a believable person when it comes to Trump and his whole narrative about wanting to live by the truth and making America great again. So I do think, although he made a lot of people hating him, I do think this could be some positive things to see. And we have to wait and see some more developments about these stocks. But I'm pretty much positive that there could be something happening in the next few weeks and months when it comes to DJT. So be ahead, guys. It's a very cautious time that we live in. So you gotta wait and see. You gotta understand that the whole investing and share environment is pretty much manipulated, and there's a lot of fraudulent games that being played on some bigger levels. We're talking about millions, $1 trillion money. So always do your due diligence, and yeah. So PayPal's also one of those guys. It's pretty much past the red line, the 50-day moving average. So the next stop is the $17 area, and then we go back in business for the 140. So keep that in mind, guys. We got still a lot of ground to make when it comes to those stocks, but I'm pretty much positive, and we have to wait and see. Amazon is still a big player. Let's see what the SPY did. So the SPY is still around 509 points, and we are still in fear. So we got fear. We are on 43 points on the fear and greed index. So we have to see what's basically happening in the market. So let me see if I share some view. Also on the note, I want to make this quote. It's not Donald Trump that's truly on trial here. It's our very democracy. If they're willing to thwart the will of American people and try to remove our choice for president of the United States, then the fabric of this country is irreparably damaged. It already is, guys. It already is. It already is. Yeah. Who are the number 10s? Amazon, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, let's see what Bitcoin is doing, man. I do think also see some lower levels on Bitcoin. I'm gonna put it on a monthly. So guys, do we all think that there could be a possibility that we are going back to the 20s? Because the whole halving was basically a non-event. It basically happened, it developed, but there was not some big changement as it come to the Bitcoin price. It, as you can see, this high, it pretty much mitigated this all-time high back in 2021, but there's nothing serious happening. So I do think we could see some lower levels on Bitcoin, We got Dogecoin, 0.14. And also another chart that I want to share with you guys is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, so the other chart that I want to share with you guys is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. So the Ethereum Bitcoin chart is basically a chart that tells you how strong Bitcoin is in comparison with Ethereum. And what you see basically is that, so this is what I want to share with you guys. As you can see, this trend line is pretty much broken. So that means we could see some lower levels. The red line here is the 50-day moving average. It basically broke, but it's still above the 200-day moving average. So it's around 0.05 ETH. So this chart is basically telling you what ETH is still valued in comparison with Bitcoin. It's a pretty interesting chart to keep in mind, and also to see what's basically happening. So how the price develops. Okay, so the dollar. Let's talk about the dollar. So the dollar is pretty much still strong, and so this is on the monthly. The dollar is still strong, but we could see some higher levels, even around the 107 points, and maybe back to 140, 114 points on the dollar. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, guys. There's a lot of things happening now in the world. So I work in the cybersecurity domain, and it's a pretty hectic environment. It's a pretty interesting environment with all the developments in the world. I have to share the article with you guys. So the cybercrime to cost the world 10.5 trillion annually by 2025. And it's pretty interesting with the developments, and I wanted to share this article with you guys. The cybersecurity expects global cybercrime costs to grow by 50% per year over the next 5 years, reaching 10.5 trillion US dollars annually by 2025, up from 3 trillion USD in 2015. This represents the greatest transfer of economic wealth in history. Risk, the incentive for innovative and investment, is exponentially larger than the damage infliction from natural disasters. So that's what I think is happening, guys. We have to wait and see.
Well, hackers have been attacking businesses of all sizes and types.
Insurers are seeing a massive spike in damages. AIG says ransomware claims have grown 150% since 2018, with ransom demands sometimes growing to tens of millions of dollars, and thieves stealing proprietary information in the process. Cybersecurity Ventures predicts by 2025, cybercrime globally could amount to $10.5 trillion. The head of insurance giant Chubb says it could get worse.
The next pandemic, the exposure that looks like a virus, is cyber-related because it has no geographic or time bound to it.
Cybercrime investigators say a pandemic is totally plausible. In fact, we're already getting a taste with Microsoft and SolarWind hacks.
Their supply chain attacks. Compromising or exploiting vulnerabilities in their software enabled the adversaries, and not just one adversary, a multitude of other adversaries, access to tens of thousands of other networks, hundreds of thousands of customers.
Cyber attacks have the potential to take down the power grid, take down the internet, and all the systems that rely on it. Some lawmakers are now sounding the alarm.
Imagine if an adversary wanted to toy with our financial markets. Imagine if an adversary had the ability to control supply chains and manipulate whatever they wanted. It doesn't take much to realize the horror that would ensue if an adversary were motivated to do any of these things.
Experts in the field say the only way effectively to combat the threat is through a public-private partnership. The government, military, cyber experts, insurers coming together, formulating a plan to defend the system and mitigate the damage. Lessons we could learn from the impact of coronavirus and our failure to plan and respond effectively there.
So guys, I want to leave you with this video, and I'm pretty much invested in the whole cybersecurity domain. It's pretty much interesting, but I do think in the next few years and months we're gonna see a power outage. We're gonna see a whole new developments, and it's pretty much interesting. So if you guys are working in the IT development, you should check the cybersecurity department and see what's interesting for you, and try to expand your knowledge and try to expand your skills. That's basically what I'm doing, and yeah, I'm planning to continue my career in cybersecurity. So I wanted to end this video with this. I hope you learned something today. Try to follow me on my X account, Joop van de Clips, and also check out my YouTube channel, Joop van de Clips. And yeah, we keep it hot, we keep it banging. Every day I'm trying to make some videos about cryptos and stocks. So I hope you learned something today, and I will see you guys in the next video. And we out. Bang, bang.